Wose Community Church is a community of the way. The way is Maat, truth, justice, and righteousness. We believe the teachings of our elders and our ancestors that the Creator God created the universe and placed inside each of us a part of the divine spirit. God living in us and through us has given to us the right and power to establish peace and justice throughout all human life, true harmony with all of creation. We believe in the living faith of our ancestors. Our way is not merely a ritual or a belief. Our way is a way of life. Our way is not a random path. Our way begins with coherent understanding. It aims at preserving a knowledge of who we are. It is with this rich conviction that we study the rich heritage of the African people. The way is reciprocity. The way is wholeness. The way is unity and self-determination. It is creativity and collective work and responsibility. Our way is faith, purpose, and cooperative economics. Our way creates. Our way knows no oppression. Our way worships and praises the God of our ancestors. The way is life. The way only destroys destruction.
Sure.
Right, and that was that belief statement. I believe, and Minister Makalisi can correct me. I believe that was composed, that was put together by Minister Makalisi also Swandi. Is that correct?
I don't know. I may have had a little role in it, but I don't relate to it as something that I exclusively put together. No. I'm not really certain about it. I'm just glad we have it.
Yes, yes. I'm glad we have it too, and I love it. Now we're going to have our affirmation. I believe it was going to give that, put that up on. Yes, thank you. Thank you, brother.
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God.
Ashe.
We came here today. We love you.
Right. And
Love that.
I think what's on our schedule is a historical tribute, and we have a wonderful historical tribute, and it's given by Baba Jeff, and here it is coming up. So hold tight.
Amin Rahatep. Good day, Wose. Again, it is my honor to give the available biographical information precisely when...
Sorry.
Amin Rahatep. Good day, Wose. Again, it is my honor to give the historical tribute today. The historical tribute is our continuing effort as a community to pay tribute to some significant, not necessarily famous person, place, or event in our history. Our commitment as a community is to keep alive in our hearts and minds at least 7 generations of our story. Be reminded that our ancestors and contemporaries did great things when they stayed connected to spirit, and continually remind ourselves that if we did great things once before, we can do great things again. We are also mindful if we don't take the time to honor what we have done, it will be forgotten. It is my pleasure to pay tribute to a most uplifting, inspiring, proud African man and human being. Dr. Kimbwandende Kia Bunseki Fukiao. Dr. Fukiao was born on April 4th, 1934, in Manianga, Democratic Republic of Congo. While the available biography of Dr. Fukiao does not provide details of his formative years as a child and teenager, we can look at the social-political environment that likely contributed to his worldview as an adult and his life work. Dr. Fukiao was born during the midpoint of Belgian Congo's colonial rule, which ran from 1908 through 1960. It should be noted that colonial rule began in 1877 as the Congo Free State, controlled by King Leopold II of Belgium, and was then transferred to the Belgian Parliament in 1908. From 16 years old in 1950 to 26 years old in 1960, the year that the Congolese people declared and won their independence, Dr. Fukiao was surely surrounded and stirred by the Congolese national movement, the MNC, led by Patrice Lumumba. At the time, Dr. Fukiao, trained as an educator, was teaching in Kinshasa. In 1964, he returned to his home in Manianga to open a pioneering educational center dedicated to exploring and documenting the deepest traditions of Congo culture. His research at the Institute investigated the philosophy and practices of the ancient Bantu educational institutions. During this period, Dr. Fukiao was initiated into 3 Congolese cultural societies, Lemba in 1964 and Kinkimba and Kimpasi both in 1966. His initiation into these secret societies would be the foundation for his profound writings on African philosophy and culture. Though it is not clear from the available biographical information precisely when Dr. Fukiao came to the United States, probably sometime in the late 60s or early 70s, He did go on to earn a BA in Cultural Anthropology, an MED in School Administration, an MS in Library Science, and a PhD in Education and Community Development at the Union Graduate School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Dr. Fukia's impact on the understanding of the African worldview of the Bantu of Congo with respect to philosophy, cosmology, spirituality, health, governance, life, and afterlife cannot be understated. All are discussed in books he's published from 1988 through 2007. In addition to his books were numerous articles as well as lectures and seminars that he gave and participated in all over the world. The following are Dr. Fukia's primary publications. Kendizi, The Congo Art of Babysitting. Self-Healing Power in Therapy, Old Teachings from Africa. Tying the Spiritual Knot, African Cosmology of the Bantu Congo, Principles of Life and Living. Mbongi, an African Traditional Political Institution, a Eureka to the African Crisis. Simba Simbi, Hold Up That Which Holds You Up. Let's listen now to Dr. Fukia explain why the dead are not under the earth.
The ancestors are not dead. They are not gone. Their energy is around you. We constantly are being bombarded by that energy. We can listen to it, we can call upon it because it is a living energy, which is that energy we can't see when we die, when it leaves our body. We cannot be unless we are in touch with that energy. We have many well-known ancestors in the world, and the Congo said the oldest ancestor is what? What do you think he says? Huh? What's your name? Huh? Somebody said to that. It's what? The Creator. For the Bantu people, God is our oldest ancestor, because it is from him or her we are all generated.
After battling illness for close to 2 years, Dr. Fukia transitioned, or as he may say, went on vacation on November 29, 2013 to become an ancestor. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
There in the crying grass, there in the moaning rocks, the dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things and to beings. Listen more often to things and to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis
That was a great historical tribute. Jeff has so many great tributes. And as I'm looking on the screen, I see my friend Kofi, Baba Kofi Ampim he's all the way in Alabama today. I see Sister Tony, Brother Celeste, Hassan. Great to see you, brother. Haven't seen you in a long time. Brother Damani, Babu Stadi, all of you good-looking Africans out there. And now we're going to have, you know what? We have so many great people among us within our community. Let's just say nationally and internationally, because sometimes people come on here from the continent of Africa. But we have somebody that's all the way in Lompoc. She's going to sing. She's going to sing for us right now. So let's listen to this wonderful songstress, and she's going to tell us about something beautiful that's going to happen.
This is a soul fire production. Soul fire reggae. Something beautiful's gonna happen to me. I feel something grand is coming my way. I can see. While I open my eyes and I jump out of bed.
All right, we're pulling out all the hits today. It's nonstop today. That was a beautiful song that was done by Sister Gloria, and I think it was co-written by Brother Kajimni, Hootie Kajimni, and give thanks for that. All right, now we're going to have our litany of sacrifice, and it's going to be brought to us by Sister Michelle Cummings and Brother Damani Sukumo.
Okay, job, Sanab, everyone, and good morning to all. This morning it's time for the litany of sacrifice, so time we can practice some Ujima and make sure our perspective, our two spiritual institutions stay financially solvent. Anyway, here we go. Litany of sacrifice. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We praise your name, O Amun Ra, for it is good. Emoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in family, community, nation, and race.
Fuji Chagalia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Yajima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Yes. Imani, faith. We shall believe in all our hearts in our God, our people,
and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Let me see. All right, on the screen is the two ways of snail mail. If you want to use snail mail, or if you want to use one of the digital platforms to send your funds into WOZA. So everybody knows, everybody should know that by now. Anyway, I turn it over to Sister Michelle.
Thank you. If we could just bow our heads in a moment of prayer. Most Father, Most High, Mother, Father, God, she who is of the Most High, the maker of all that is and shall be, the giver of all of our needs, the knower of what is beyond truth. We have opened our hearts and minds with the litany of sacrifice and speaking our guiding principles. Please save us, O Holy One. Please save us from ourselves. Wose exists in each of us, but we are the caretakers of the Wose in this tangible world. For Wose to grow, to get bigger, to have more members, we have to keep sacrificing more than just what it takes to keep the lights on or the water running. Great sacrifice is needed in the coming days. Oakland has a roof that needs repairs. Sacramento does not have its own stable home yet. There is so much to be done. How can we do this, Amun-Ra? We ask that you give us the will to be consistent in all manners. Most High, I know you have seen the work of our commissions. These are people stating what they will do for the future, identifying work, making rules, and using it to bring order, documentation, and repeated successes. Can this not be repeated for our sacrifices too? Can we not forecast that next year's lease can be paid, or that the monies for the county taxes have been set aside? Often we have prayed for new members, Amun-Ra, but maybe we need to look at the lost members of WOSE, and we need your help to recontact them. I'm not talking about people lost in the pandemic. I'm talking about WOSE members that disappeared during the pandemic who wouldn't or couldn't participate in Zoom. We must reach out to them and find them, hear their words for leaving, and bring this back to our church, to our members, to come up with action on how to reattain our people, to get them back. But most of all, we need to leave our older members, our lost members, our members that we have not seen in years. We must leave them with not only a mental picture of WOSE, but a physical reminder of WOSE too. And these, I think, are actions and things that are not in play as yet with us. But I pray, Amun-Ra, that you will give us the steps, the thoughts, and the words to reach out to those that we have not seen on Zoom in years. As you can tell, Amun-Ra, my prayer, my sacrifice today is not only in money. Our sacrifice needs to be to prepare for that will be sacrificed to us. That the receiver of the sacrifices needs to be as prepared as the giver. Amun-Ra, please give us strength for work, not easy, because it will take each one of us here today to reach out to someone not seen in a while. Right communication is the light, Amun-Ra, the two-way street. Let our communication be clear. Let it be consistent. Amun-Ra. Ashe. Amun-Ra.
I see you. I see you.
Thank you, Sister Michelle, for that wonderful prayer. And thank you, Brother Damani, for leading us, both of you leading us in our litany of sacrifice. And now I've coined her as the wisest among us. When I observe her messages are really special. And you know, sometimes you'll see Minister Alicia, she'll be taking notes, you know, and so when you're speaking, she's paying attention, and she is she's such a great mother, wife, and minister of WOSE. And so now it is our pleasure to welcome. And Minister Alicia, if you have any freedom writings, I know we haven't discussed this, but if you have any freedom writings that we can put up, you know, that are in the Hosea, that maybe we can put up on the screen, you know, don't hesitate on that. Otherwise, the floor is yours, and we're looking forward to the message that you're bringing to us today.
Greetings, thank you. So when I do begin to put the freedom writings, it is going to be page 64, the book of Ankh Shashanki. So when I do get there. So good morning. Oh, excuse me. Hello, everyone. Happy Soulful Sunday. The beauty of the day has come. We thank you so much for being. Yes. We thank you so much for being here. This is an awesome day. It's a beautiful day. It's been so beautiful, and I've been so thankful. And you know, here in California, we are so blessed to experience all these seasons. We are very blessed with our weather. We might have some little things going on, but we are very blessed with our weather. And I enjoy aspects of each of the seasons. I enjoy the spring and the winter and the autumn and the summer. I enjoy the winter because it's crisp, it's cold. You get to bundle up in your coziness. You know, it's cold outside, so it kind of brings you indoors and into the family and just into a nice cozy state. I remember when I was a child in the winter times, my dad would we had a fireplace. Does anybody still have fireplaces these days? But good, we still have some fireplaces in the house. We
I
used to have a
do.
fireplace. Yeah, good. And
Yes.
good. My dad would bring the wood in and he would start the fire and I would be the one sitting so close to the fire to get nice and warm. And those things happen during the winter time. And it reminded me of just being cozy and just having a good time with family. I enjoy the spring. The spring brings along newness. You can watch the leaves budding in the trees. And as you're driving along, you can see fields of flowers, all the different colors. Birds are singing louder. And some of us get the instinctual urge to start planting things, to start putting things in the ground, start digging in the dirt. We get that instinctual urge to do that during spring. And and then summer comes and for me it's a nice release of the structural time because as you all know with the children and they're going to school and things of that nature and me usually working at schools and things. I'm sorry, I'm turning on my timer so I'm not gonna go too much over, but um and so it gives us kind of like a out breath, kind of like the release of that structural time of getting up, being here at this time, being here at that time, go to this, go to that. It kind of gives us a relaxed state and it's time to go out and enjoy being outside in the out of doors. Um, and as it warms up, you're able to get into the waters. A lot of us like to go to the waters and put our feet in. And, my kids get all the way in. I don't do that anymore. I'm just putting my feet in, just put the feet in, into the rivers and the moving waters. And we are so thankful in the summertime for that coolness of the water. Um, but fall, y'all. Fall is my favorite. Fall is my absolute favorite. It is at that time where you begin to get relief from that heat of the summer. You can bring out your sweaters and hats, and the trees begin to turn all those beautiful colors. And the sun is bright, but there's always a slight breeze that it rustles the leaves around, and you can hear the leaves just tinkling across the ground. It's a beautiful time of year. And me being like, I really just love, like, it sounds kind of funny, but I really just love school. Like when I was a kid, I loved school too. Even during high school, when I didn't like school, I still loved it. I loved the time when, the freshness of the new pencils and the new paper and all of those things and getting your backpack on and heading to see your friends, all of that in the educational system. And so it's like it's all of that will come up during the fall time, and nature makes its preparations to go within during this time. So the autumnal equinox just passes when the hours of the day and night are equal, and then as the time moves on we head into the darkness with less and less daylight hours. Then a few days after the equinox we get to experience the harvest moon. Have you all been paying attention to the moon? The beautiful moon outside. So that was the introduction. And after a long intro, our freedom writing is going to come from the book of Angsha Shanki. Angsha Shanki number 1, page 64. And on the second paragraph, you've heard this before if you've been here at Wose for any time. Yes, it was a supermoon. Where it says, in the second paragraph, examine every matter that you may understand it. Do not say I am learned, but rather set yourself to become wise. Be gentle and patient. Then your character will be beautiful. It is in the development of character that instruction succeeds. Learn the structure and functioning of the sky. learn the structure and functioning of the earth. Ashe. And so our title today is Paying Attention and Reflecting the Light. So first, I just want to put in that freedom writing was also our memory verse at Meta Kids Camp this year. So the kids were challenged to learn that as we were going through the week. But our title today, Paying Attention and Reflecting the Light. So as you all know, many of you have met my children. My oldest daughter, her name is Exnani Setafari Mweze Aiwa Maat Teasley. And her name means the unknown infinite element of the creator. It means moon. It means character. It means Ma'at, and we all know Ma'at is truth, justice, harmony, balance, reciprocity, propriety, and order. And so we want to focus on the Mweze and the Iwa. Mweze is moon, and Iwa means character. So what is the character of the moon? To reflect the light of the sun. That is the character that we are seeing of the moon. We can see this starkly in the balance of a male-female relationship even. As the woman and the man, they get closer and closer, the woman gets to be a direct reflection of the man's light or lack thereof. So he may grow to love her more or begin to resent her because some men just don't enjoy looking in the mirror. And sometimes in relationships, that's what happens. We are looking ourselves in the mirror, and sometimes we like what we see, and sometimes we don't. But I digress. I kind of went off on this tangent. The character of the moon. So the character of the moon is to reflect the light of the sun. And we need to pay attention to the functions of the sky and the earth. Much of our ancestral wisdom comes from its contemplation. Like in the book of Shashanki, when it says, do not say that I'm learned. To learn is to gain or acquire knowledge or skill in something by ways of study or experience or being taught. We appreciate learning, but our goal should be to become wise. Wise is having or showing experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Wise suggests great understanding of people and of situations and unusual discernment and judging and dealing with them. That's wisdom. Using your knowledge to be able to be with other people and deal with other people and deal with situations. Some scholars identify different types of wisdom. Cognitive wisdom, involving knowledge and abilities in critical thinking. Reflective wisdom, involving introspection and self-awareness. And there's compassionate wisdom, involving empathy and concern for others. So we need to pay attention to what nature is telling us. That is one of our pillars of We'll Say, is to establish a relationship with nature. So we need to pay attention to what nature is telling us. Our goal is not just to acquire knowledge for knowledge's sake. Our goal is not just to be able to tell facts and figures of the ibis bird or the hippo or the dung beetle. Our goal is to watch, observe, pay attention, and see the lessons in our experience with nature and learn and act accordingly. We need to pay attention. For example, I mentioned the dung beetle. Our ancestors observed this beetle as it busied itself rolling dung up the hills closer to the sun. So usually anybody in 2023 in the middle of the city is not worrying about a beetle and what it's doing and not looking at any of that and kind of contemplating on that. But our ancestors are telling us to watch nature and become wise. So they watch the dung beetle that's called the scarab. The scarab beetle locates the sun to direct its path, and follows a straight line despite any obstacles. There are even some nocturnal African scarabs. They navigate using the polarization patterns in the moonlight, or they orient themselves by using the Milky Way. Our ancestors linked the scarab beetle to Khepri, the god of the rising sun, he who has come into being. So when they wanted to depict something that is to become or to come into being, usually you will see that scarab beetle, that Khepri. They would observe the beetle planting into the dung, and over time, the production of life, the bringing into being. So then, in contemplating just those simple things, in watching that dung beetle, they're able to see concepts of creation out of darkness, creation of life from what seems to be nothing, or what seems to be just waste. So they can translate that into, in your life, when you're feeling like you're in darkness, when you are in darkness, you can take the wisdom of the scarab, the wisdom of Khepri, and know that you can create from there. You can make life from that place where you are, wherever you are. When you look around you and there appears to be nothing but waste, nothing but darkness, and things to be discarded, the wisdom of the scarab is for you to navigate by the sun. Or if you're in darkness, you are to orient your steps by the moon, which is the reflection of the light of the sun. You will find that wisdom, you will find those particular wisdoms all over African culture. We need to pay attention. These are things that our ancestors did. This is part of who we are, part of our African culture, to pay attention to the nature that's around us and become wise with what it is that we're seeing and experiencing. Do you know one of the biggest commodities in the Western world? It's your attention. That is one of the biggest commodities in the Western world, is your attention. What you pay attention to is worth millions. It's worth millions. That is why advertisement is a billion-dollar industry. Why do they want to get all this information about what it is you like? I'm sitting here in my little apartment with my little life. Why does some big mogul want to know what I'm thinking, what I'm paying attention to? Why would that matter? It brings them billions of dollars. They say it's to give us a personalized experience, but really it's to have knowledge of your patterns, your likes and dislikes, so they can advertise to you in order to increase their wealth. Graduating from that thought process, from that possible to make another you, if they have enough information, we have got to pay attention. And not only have we got to pay attention, brothers and sisters, but we have to pay attention to what we paying attention to. Pay attention to what you paying attention to. Oh, we can pay attention all day, but if I'm sitting here watching all kinds of craziness, that's what's coming into my body. That's what's resting in our minds. We want to rest our minds on light and love and positive vibrations. We want to rest our minds on solutions to African problems. We want to rest our minds on what it is the Most High has for us. We want to take our knowledge and contemplate it, putting it into action, and use that knowledge and turning it into wisdom. We can't do that if we're resting our minds on what's the newest pair of jeans, or how can I get this new car, or so and so has this big house. I gotta go and turn my back upside down so I can have this big house too. We can't have our minds rested on those mundane things. We have to understand that we have to rest our minds on light, love, positive vibrations, getting knowledge and wisdom, and getting that wisdom to benefit ourselves and our people. We have to endeavor to know in order to use, not just for knowing's sake, not just for the sake of talking smart to friends, or to help yourself into being being seen as the blackest, the most African of the African Americans, because I know this and I know that. It's great to know things, but are you using those things? Sister Rana talked to us about that last week. Are we using those things? Are we being those things? Are we being wise with the information that our ancestors have left to us? But we are to be wise, using our knowledge to benefit our people, developing our character into something beautiful. Sister Gloria just said, hey, something beautiful is going to happen to me. I can feel it. I can feel it. And so we have to develop ourselves, our character into that something beautiful, something that reflects the light. Seeing that harvest moon is always an experience of awe and wonder. It is so close. Sometimes the night sky, you feel like you can just touch it, like you could just reach out and just, let me just touch it, let me just get a piece. It is, then the harvest moon is so called because of this season of gathering. Typically, many crops are peaking, and the bright moon helped the farmers work longer into the evening to maximize the work before the frost. This was the last supermoon of the year, the one that we just experienced. Those changes ushered us into the season of Heru Behutet, as Ra Nefer Amen depicts as the Heru Behutet season, Behutet, Heru Behutet. So we're in that season right now. This is the time that begins the reaping of what has been sown through this year thus far. Spiritually, we are to be working on our own Black selves, as Minister Imhotep tells us. That is a saying of one of our mothers. Our character, our spiritual wisdom, working on implanting the characteristics of the Neteru, which are the principles of the Most High that lives dormant in man, that we are here to awaken. So we are supposed to be working on implanting those characteristics of the Neteru. We are to be at work doing these things throughout the year. And these works, now is the time where we bring in the harvest of whatever we have sown during the year. Heru Behutet overthrows the enemies of Ra. If you've ever seen a picture depicted of the sun with the wings, that's Heru Behutet. Ra in man is our life force. Heru Behutet overthrows the enemies of our life force. What strengthens our life force is reflecting the light. It's putting the attributes of the Most High into our daily character by controlling our thoughts, meditation, by controlling our actions, imprinting correct actions during that meditation, so that the body automatically responds in the right way when met with those situations in the waking state. Devotion of purpose. Be on your path of becoming. Faith in the master to teach the truth. Know what's in your heart. Faith in your ability to assimilate and wield the truth. Know that you can trust your inner knowing. Know that you can trust your wisdom. Being free from resentment under experience of wrongdoing and persecution. Put things into perspective. Be able to carry over your enemies across the waters without becoming like them. This is being free from resentment. I'm not messing up my internal body because you want to try to do something to me, whether it is purposeful or accidental. I'm not messing up my liver. I'm not messing up my spleen. I'm not doing these things by holding on to resentment for things that you do. I'm being free from that. We cannot be bound by those things. And those are things that excite our life force. We are to cultivate the ability to distinguish right from wrong and the real from the unreal. That is the discernment we talked about earlier, which is what? Wisdom. When we are cultivating the ability to distinguish right from wrong and the real from the unreal, we are creating wisdom within ourselves. So the enemy is defeated when we have wisdom. The enemy is defeated when we put events into perspective and do not become like our enemies. The enemy is defeated when we are one with the God within, when we are trusting the God within. The enemy is defeated when we know what is in our heart. The enemy is trampled on when we are about our Father's business. The enemy has no power when we have control over our thoughts and our actions. This is Heru Behutet, overthrowing the enemy. So if throughout the year we have been imprinting the characteristics of the Neteru within us, during this time at our reaping, we will see our harvest. We will be in such abundance that we can harvest into the darkness of night, under the light that reflects the sun. We will be reaping and reaping and reaping. That we have to just feel the abundance, because there's so much, because we have planted so much beauty and goodness that we're just getting that all back. So we got to work into the night, receiving all that love. Are we reflecting the light as the moon? The harvest moon shows so large because at this time, it is the closest distance to the earth. The light's reflection at its greatest strength, it gets up close. So the time our higher spirit is up close to the dense atmosphere of the body, so you can see what you are pulling up out of the ground. What is your harvest? What is it that you are gathering? Ra Nefer Amen tells us that are certain times during the year that we are working with the netter of Amen. We are working with peace. There are other times we are working with Tahuti. We are working with knowledge and the likeness with God. We are working on Ma'at. We are working on love and sharing and order and reciprocity. These are different times during the year that we are working on these things. So we have to pay attention. It is the ultimate commodity. If we pay attention to the Most High, it is the ultimate commodity. And we are defeating those things that are against Ra, that are against the sun, that are against the light. We are defeating those things just by knowing what's in our heart. We are defeating those things just by controlling our thoughts and actions. And let us be in control. And I say this often, that what you put in is what ruminates within you. What you're watching on TV, it ruminates within you. The music that you listen to, it ruminates within you. You may think that you're not thinking about A, B, C, and D, but you could be driving down the street, you could be walking your dog, you can be doing everything, and that stuff will raise its head. And you're gonna be like, oh, was that show I was watching last week? Oh, was that song I was listening to? And it'll come right up. And whether we are aware or not aware, whether we see it or we don't see it, it's there. Which is why we're so careful about what our children watch. If we are careful about what our children watch, shouldn't we be careful about what we watch too? What we put into our minds? And we need to control that. What we have to pay attention to, it's the ultimate commodity. So we want to become like the moon. and reflect the light of the sun. And these are the ways our ancestors teach us. This is what our ancestors teach us, how to acquire wisdom, how to see the knowledge, to learn the knowledge. Like when we're talking about in 2000 seasons, where the youth were working on their initiation, and they would go to the fundis. The fundis are the masters of their arts. And they would go there and they would learn. And if their heart and their spirit works together with whatever it is that they're learning, they go and they deepen their knowledge. They deepen their knowledge till it becomes wisdom. And these are the things that this is the way our ancestors taught us, is to learn these things. And if our heart beats towards it, if it excites you, if it's like, yes, I love learning about A, B, C, and D, I want to know more. We all know what it means to have a passion. We all know what it means to, like, man, every time I pick up a microphone and get ready to sing, something in my heart just is like, yes. Or every time I get in front of these children to teach, something in my spirit just rises up. These are your passions. These are the things that we go into, and we deepen ourselves, and we get wisdom. And with that wisdom, we shine that light out into the world as a reflection, just like the moon, just like this harvest moon. And we are taught by watching nature. We are taught by understanding the Netaru and beginning to put those characters within ourselves, within our spirits, awaken and enliven them. Don't let them sleep in your bodies. Don't let the spirit of Asar bring in oneness and peace. Stay asleep in your body. Understand that we are one with all. And awaken that within you. And you awaken it through your wisdom. You awaken it through situations. Oh, I can't be mad at you. I'm one with you. What I do to you, it's done to myself. What I do for you, it's done to myself. I have no problems giving to you, because what I give to you, I'm giving to myself. We want to awaken and alive these things within us as we reflect the light. So brothers and sisters, back to our Husia, we're in the book of Ankh-Shushanki, when it says to us, examine every matter that you may understand it. Look at all these things. Do not say I am learned, but rather set yourself to become wise. Don't just get the information just to be getting information and tell your friends how much you know, but actually put it into your life. Be gentle and patient, then your character will be beautiful. And then something beautiful can happen to all of those around you. It is in the development of character that instruction succeeds. If your character is developed, when somebody instructs you, it's going to succeed. When they plant things in you, it's going to grow. Learn the structure and function of the sky. Learn the structure and functioning of the earth, because these things can grant us wisdom. These things can grant us wisdom. What are you paying attention to? Reflect the light. Ashe.
Ashe.
Sante Sana.
Ashe. Minister
Ashe.
Alicia.
Wonderful.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful message today. And like we were saying earlier, she's very wise, the way that she comes across, to be so young and have all of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right now, we're going to extend the invitation to you. Although I look on the screen and many of you are already members, but let's listen to this song that Sister Older Ramey used to sing in those old Galindo days. And this is an invitational song. If you want to put your your name in the chat, or if you want to go on wosesac.org or wosecommunity.org and join, privately, you can do that as well. So let's listen to this song, and then when we come back, we'll see where we are. All right. Did that make sense? All right. Yes, indeed. We are trying to get home. We will keep on trying. If we don't make it today, we're going to try even harder tomorrow. What a wonderful service. What a wonderful message today. Give thanks for that message, Minister Alicia. Let's see. Let me check in the chat. Somebody may have come forward. Here, let me just look. Prove your light is right. Love the sermon was one of the comments. Thank you, Sister Doris, for sharing my birthday month in such a way, a powerful way. Wow, I could not write fast enough. Asante Sana for the message, Minister Alicia. Let the light shine. Minister Alicia, on point as usual. Thank you, Minister Alicia. Awesome self-help message. Reflect the last and get love. All right. Asante, give thanks and praise for those comments from the heart. They didn't know I was going to read them. And so at this time, what comes next, Nantambu? I don't know what's happening. Lift every voice.
Another one of your great videos. I love them.
Okay, here's one. I have to admit, I didn't get Minister Makalisi's video in. He made a new song. That's right. He has a new hit record, and we heard it. We heard one of them on SOS this past Friday, but we're going to Lift Our Voice and Sing come forward and then close our service. All right. Here we go.
Lift every voice and sing.
Minister Alicia, would you close us out now?
Now unto the ones who is able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high. May they empower us to be one people
One people,
with one aim,
One aim,
one destiny,
one destiny,
Destiny.
one love,
one
One
love,
love,
one heart,
one
one
heart,
heart,
and one God.
one God.
And let us call upon the name of that one God as our elders and ancestors have done for countless times and for time immemorial. Let us all say, we are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe.